Hi there, welcome back to Supercharged Fridays. How are you doing? We are live 140 weeks now, every single Friday since January 2020. How's it going? Come in the comments. I know there's a bit of delay, and if we haven't met before, it's nice to meet you. I am Sonal, and I have a career coaching firm called Supercharge, and we get together like this every Friday. But what I do is basically help people who are going through career transition and to basically lead a richer, happier, and more purposeful life. If that's what you're about, continue to join me live every Friday. I do this through the three C's. I do this through coaching, courses, and content. Content like this. I also have a very active YouTube channel as well as a podcast called How I Got Hired, where I speak with amazing people from around the world who've been through career change. So awesome. So I am going to get started without further ado. This is a shorty broadcast together. And it's solo, it's just me and you hanging out. And I wanted to talk about like Q4 is coming, end of the year, right? And we want to be more proactive. We don't want to just think like, okay, it's now December, let me think about 2023. Why does it have to be like a calendar, right? It doesn't have to. We can make it whenever we want. We can do this check whenever we want. So the idea is today to ask a few questions to see and check in with each other on how you're doing, where is it that you need help with. So without further ado, let's get into that. And if you didn't catch it, I was live last week, and we had the brilliant Lisa Ringel talking about good and bad career advice. It was really, really fantastic. Supercharged Fridays, if you didn't catch that, make sure you do. And let's talk about those questions that I was talking about with regards to the path that you're on to ending 2022 and ending it strong, ending it strong, ending it the way you want it to end, right? So I appreciate you guys joining. Hey Risto, how you doing? Hi Arun. So fantastic. So the first question I have is, what is the best, and by the way, these questions came up because I was doing a group coaching yesterday, and it was something that I thought would interest the wider audience, right? Not just those 7 8 people who were live on that group coaching program. This is where it was coming from. So the first question was, what would be the best possible outcome for end of 2022? What does that look like for you? Just not how, when, just what. What is that best possible outcome for 2022? Then, to get back agency and to get back control, what can you do this week, this month, today, to get closer to it? What can you do? What are some steps you can take? Baby steps, micro steps, doesn't really matter, right? So, question number one was, what is the best possible outcome for 2022? What can you do this week, this month, today to get closer to it? What are you thinking so far? I want to know what you think. So comment comments and let me know what you're thinking. Hey G, it's good to see you back here. I know you've been busy. Thank you for joining. Suman, Srini, how are you guys? All right. So this is where I am right now. And I have two more questions. And before I get into it, I think this is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me because I'm not anywhere near where my goals are for the end of 2022. But putting in the work, right? Even checking in is uncomfortable because it's a reminder. Sometimes it's a reminder, oh, I'm not even there yet. What's the point? So where are you? I wish I could be smarter. What does that even look like, Arun? What does smart even look like? Is it book knowledge? Is it street smart? What is that? You know, get that clarity first. The what. And these are two more questions I'm going to be sharing, but I can see that we have some coaches here in the audience as well. So I'm talking to you, Risto. I'm talking to G. Feel free to add. Feel free to add your own thought-provoking questions. Let's not wait till 1st of January to make big plans or wait for 31st December or all of that stuff. We can do this anytime. And for me, it's a little bit symbolic because it's coming closer to the end of Q3. I can't believe it. One more quarter and 2022 is over. Where did the time go? Right? Where did the time go? Um, all right. So you still have 12 weeks to rise and progress. That's very true, Suman. Not to lose focus. Yes, we do have, and these 12 weeks go by so fast, right? And if you count today, if you count this week, it's 13 weeks, but it'll go by really fast. So there is a sense of complacency that can happen. You're like, oh yeah, it's 1st of January. I've got 12 months. Well, 9 out of those 12 are already over. The third question, this is, like I said, a very quick one. So we'll be over pretty quickly, actually. The third one is, what does success look like? Maybe end of next year, right? That gives us a little over a year to think about what does it look like? Because right now it's very soon. And we will only focus on short term sort of gratification, short term ways to think about it and make, feel better about it. But what does success look like in 2023? Feel free to share that if you want to. It's very personal, but if you feel comfortable, you can share that. And I have another question here that Risto has asked. Cheers. I'm going to have a cup of tea, a sip of tea. What habits or processes could you apply to reach your goals? What habits? What processes? Habits, waking up an hour earlier, processes, a system in place, right? To ensuring that every time I do this, I also do this. Or every time I do a networking thing, I reach out to someone, I also do this. Very good. Excellent, Risto. Thank you for adding that. A year from now, you'll wish you started today. That is so true. That is so true. Very true. And it is overwhelming. It is very overwhelming and analysis paralysis. And everybody says just go one step at a time, right? Very true. And G's adding, as well, the not waiting. Yeah, I agree. And the not waiting, and then a year from now, you wish. I'm glad you added that, G. That's really important. Some people, it's amazing. It's like, but this thing starts. So today's 28th of December. My New Year thing starts on first. That's 3 days later. And what is time? I mean, if we get philosophical about it, it's a very artificial separation, right? I don't know. 1st January, 23rd September. What is time? So, yeah. And there's a fourth one as well, but I have a question as well. How do you get the energy when outcomes are not per your expectations? That is the question, Suman. That is the question. That is not easy. I was listening to a podcast the other day and someone said, um, progress, not perfection. Every day you make some progress, not perfection. It's a very old one, nothing new. People have been saying this for years. And I love it as well. Go for progress, don't go for perfection. But this person added on the podcast, she said, what if you don't have progress? Forget perfection. What if you don't have progress? Then how are you going for it every single day? How are you doing it? And her response was brilliant. She said, just stick to the process. So you answered this, Suman, with your own statement. You've answered it. Discipline. Because the progress, even if it doesn't come now, it will come. I talked about the tunnel and how long the tunnel is and the light at the end of the tunnel. I talked about it a week ago. And it's related to that. It's related to that. So it might mean pivoting, changing a few things, but progress, not perfection. Process, not perfection. Continue to stick to the process. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Hope that makes sense. And G says, I gave up on New Year resolutions years ago. I know what you mean. Focusing on a day at a time. Exactly. And Atomic Habits is a must read. I have a habit at home as well. I have to make a habit of reading it more, a little habit of reading it more. But there's a lot of treasure in it. Hey, LinkedIn user, I'm not quite sure. Uh, Feel free to Add your name to it. For over 6 months, I've been doing everything possible to change my job. I'm not succeeded. I will continue, but I must admit I've lost hope, and that hope that it will happen by the end of the year. You know, the putting a deadline to that is very. It doesn't do us any favors, because when the time is right and it'll happen, it will happen. But making it putting the unnecessary, like, added pressure, you don't need that, right? At least I don't think so. And every time I've done that and I've put in fake artificial pressure, I've realized that it just prevents me from getting started. So yes, the goal is there. And you need to have the planning. Very true. Planning and action, both of them together. And I don't know if you'll get it by 1st December, 15th December. I don't know that. And neither do you. And that is really, to some extent, out of your control. What is in your control is the progress and the processes that you follow on a weekly, daily, hourly basis. That's it. That's it. That's it. And the last question I wanted to add, and then I'm going to let you guys go, is a very, I don't know, it's a very deep one as far as I'm concerned. What will success look like in 2023? And then the last one was, how will you know you made it? How will you know you made it? Because many times what we do is we take that flag, the destination flag, and we just move it further ahead and further ahead and further ahead. So we're never happy. It's one of the reasons why a lot of rich people you know today never satisfied. What's the point? What's the point of having a great job, of having great income, if you're not happy? So these are questions that one needs to answer. They're personal to each and every one of us. So, I hope this is interesting. I hope this is helpful. I hope it's making you think a little bit. Um, Planning without action is futile. Action without planning is fatal. Ooh, wow. Ooh, action without planning. That's a little, yeah. It makes you, I think it gets the necessary, like, reaction. I think this is especially the word fatal. It's a very strong word, right? So appreciate you sharing that. All right. Good morning, Dan. Early morning for you. So this is what I wanted to share. I hope you're all doing well. Quick Supercharge Fridays, 13 minutes. And in a couple of weeks, I'm very excited to be talking to a coach in the US, and she's going to be talking with us about North Star. What is it like to find your North Star? I think it'll be a very interesting conversation. I think we'll get a lot out of it. What does your North Star look like? Until then, I'm here. I'm here. If there's anything I can help with, feel free to connect with each other if you're watching live. And I shall see you at the same time next week. Take care of yourselves. Until next time, have a good Friday and have a good weekend. Bye.